Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash, I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now, I have not done a fragrance review for quite some time. My fragrance collection kind of is overflowing at the moment. However, I had to try something which I'd heard about for quite some time. I thought it was right up my tree. I made the classic blind buy. I'd never smelt it or knowingly smelt it, and I decided to give a try to a powerhouse from the 1980s, and that is Lapidus Pour Homme in its very retro bottle here joining me today. Now, if you were a fan of or a young person in the 80s and 90s, as I was born in 1970, so I came of age in the 80s. I was one of those writhing masses of sweaty young men who were hanging around in nightclubs of the era, the ones before air conditioning, where the carpet stuck to your soles of your shoes, and you know, everybody, every young chap was wearing a super powerful fragrance. It was almost like a nuclear arms race. Who could wear the most beast-like fragrance of all? And Lapidus Pour Homme was right there in the mix, alongside fragrances like Puig's Coram, Yves Saint Laurent's Kouros, which was a personal favourite of mine actually, Escape by Calvin Klein, and Teus by Chanel. And Lapidus Pour Homme was one of those classics like Dracar Noir and so on. Now, it was born in 1987, right in the middle of the Miami Vice era, when really the world was a place where masculinity and portraying it in your fragrance was a valuable thing to young people. The stronger your aroma, the more masculine you were. This was the way people thought back then. And Lapidus Pour Homme comes from the Lapidus collection. I think it was all started by a chap called Ted Lapidus, Frenchman. Used to be a fashion house. Now I think they kind of only do fragrances and the like. And it's budget stuff, 20 quid for a bottle, I'll give you that nod up front. But it is, it's very much a fragrance of its era. So I decided, as I've been on a journey revisiting those old fragrances in the last couple of years, I've got Kouros and Antaeus, and what else have I had just recently? Oh, Dracar Noir. I mean, who doesn't own a bottle of that monstrously powerful stuff? So I tried a bottle of Lapidus, went on Amazon, still very much available, 20 British pounds. Not a big risk for a blind buy, but let me tell you something about it. What is the fragrance like? For a start, I'm going to spray it. But this time, I'm not going to spray it on my skin. I'm going to spray it on a handkerchief. And I'll explain the reason why as we go along. Because I want to smell it. Oh my God. The smell is overwhelming to my nose, all right? And it smells, I'm not going to go into all of the notes, because if you look on the website, the Lapidus website, it will break down the top notes, the heart notes and the base notes, and there are 20 of them. But there's certainly pineapple there. It's really quite fruity. There's a lot of citrus, a little bit of lavender. There's a hell of a lot going on. In the heart notes, the middle parts, there's something like 9 separate fragrances quoted, one of which is rose, which I get a little bit of. And in the base notes, you've got tobacco, musk, tonka bean. So it's really a combination of fragrances which are powerful. I rarely have ever smelt a fragrance this powerful. What season would you choose to wear this? Honestly, I think you couldn't dream of wearing this in the summertime. It is so heavy and strong that only in it's January, a cold winter's day where temperatures are sub-zero, as they are here in the UK right now, hands are tingling with the cold, this fragrance, it needs that crispness to keep it contained, because on a hot and sweaty day where your skin is of elevated temperature, agitating the fragrance, I think this could be unbearable to people around you. So cool days, seasons only. What age range would a person wear this? Well, two age ranges really. Either you're a hot and sweaty young man and you're pushing out the masculinity and you want something which screams alpha male, or you're a mature gentleman who's reflecting on his best years and you're using the olfactory sense to help you in that process. For most of us in the middle, I don't think so. It's probably just too strong. Time of day would you wear this? For me, evening only. If you're going somewhere where you're going to perhaps want to emanate a fragrance which is beastly. So maybe you're going to a nightclub which you know is going to be a heavy atmosphere, lots of other people, smoke, whatever it may be, and you want something which is going to push through, going to radiate out there. Daytime, morning time, definitely not, because it's just so strong, so provocative on the nostrils. An occasion. What occasion would you wear this for? Well, I wouldn't wear it for my wedding. Let me put that to you, because I think you would find the priest who's going to marry you recoiling in horror away from you instead of officiating over your vows. I wouldn't wear it to business situations because it's too strong. The people in your proximity are going to draw an impression of you based on this fragrance, and it may not be a favourable impression. The only time I would possibly wear this fragrance is if I was going out for an evening and I thought that I was likely to encounter a vampire. Because if that vampire sort of struck me to the ground, exposed my neck and was about to bite deeply into my artery, they would be confronted with Lapidus and they would have to recoil away from me, giving me the opportunity to escape. So from that point of view, if you're in the habit of consorting with vampires, or in fact, indeed, you are a professional vampire hunter, this may be of benefit to you on your professional journey through life. Its projection is very good, if not verging on the outlandish. I mean, I've worn this, talking about sillage as well. When I first bought this and started using it frequently, I put it on, I would leave that room, go somewhere else in the house, come back 2 or 3 hours later, walk into the room I'd exited hours ago, and I could still smell this hanging in the air that I had previously occupied several hours before. That is its level of strength. It's bordering on the ridiculous. Its longevity, well, let me tell you, I will probably have to burn this handkerchief to get rid of the fragrance. It'll survive a trip through the washing machine with biological washing powder, and it'll still smell of Lapidus. That is the longevity. You put it on your skin, it's with you for 12 to 24 hours. You will be wishing that it had a much shorter longevity. I can assure you of that. The third-party comments that you're going to get after this, well, I would say it's very, very polarizing. As you can probably tell, it has not struck a chord with me. In fact, I have rejected it in a way that I don't think I have ever disliked a fragrance prior on my journey as a fragrance aficionado. This one rubs me up the wrong way in the biblical sense. So for me, I really don't like it. And I think you will find people who also really don't like it, or those who will say, that's quite interesting. I don't think there's many in the middle who are going to say, I quite like it, or that's not bad. I think generally with something this strong, this polarizing, you're going to be one way or the other. It's either the devil itself or something which you rather like. The bottle, as you can see, is really rather retro. I don't think it's changed since 1987. I don't imagine it has. It is some sort of porcelain construction, plastic top. It's interesting. It is very much like Kuros when I think of it. People have described this as being a dirty version of Kuros with a rocket up its arse, and I would agree with that entirely. It is cheap, 100 millilitres here of eau de toilette strength for £20 British, available widely at that price point, and for me that's probably £19 more than I would pay for it again, but it's very interesting. If you're considering buying this, I would suggest you put your nose around it first, because you're either going to be falling into the category of loving it or very much in the category of hating it. But if you like those 1980 scents which were brutal, actually I do. I like those 80 scents. I've got Coram, Kuros, I've got Antaeus, I've got Dracanoir. They're all in my collection and I actually still wear them. I like the nostalgia which casts me back to my younger years. But this is that step too far for me. It takes no prisoners of the nose at all. And yeah, this Force 10 fragrance is certainly, everybody within 20 feet are going to know that you're wearing this. So be careful when you wear it. That's all I'll say. If I've got this wrong, let me know in the comment section below. Just tell me what you think, and I'd like to hear from you. So, if you've enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe for more. Suggest for me a fragrance which I should try, maybe an 80s fragrance, a 90s fragrance, or something which you think it would be interesting to get a modern take on it. As I say, drop me an email. Let me know. If you'd like to support the channel, you could buy me a coffee or even become a patron for a tiny £3 per month fee. You can join my patron group, you'll get extra videos every week and a personal dialogue with me as and when you want it. The link to that is in the show notes below. So, until the next time, be careful what you put on. And now I'm off to burn this handkerchief, and I will see you again very soon.